animal science pathway, and it's at Northeastern Junior College, and it's an animal science class that would count for 1 graduation credit for us and gives them 3 junior college credits. The second one is in business administration. It's at Ames. It's a capstone in business administration. It's the title on our side. It's cooperative education and internship on the Ames side. So those are just talking about what we name it, what they name it, to make sure we can do both. That one gives us a half of credit at Roosevelt, 3 credits at Ames. The next one, hospitality and food production, is the pathway. It's ProStart 1. For us, that's what we call it. At Metro State, it's food fundamentals. Again, it's 1 year-long credit for us here, 3 at MSU. You got ProStart 2, which is the same thing through just the second level of that, which is food science and preparation at Metro State, 1 year long or 3 MSU credits. In the behavioral health pathway, this is with the Aurora Community College. It's mental health crisis and intervention, preparedness and empathy, gives a half credit at Roosevelt and 3 credits through ACC. The second one is introduction to behavioral health care and wellness. Again, that's 0.5 or 3 credits at ACC. Both of those will be in that behavioral health pathway. New courses this semester that we're looking to continue to push on is nurse's assistant aid. We'll go forward to try to seek approval for the state approval in April, and that's that CNA classroom and courses that we built. And the nurse's assistant aid down below right now is pass-fail, gives us 1 Ames credit. So that's part of the pathway we're continuing to try to build out. Rebecca's asking the board to approve each of those. So again, we can put them in our course handbook. And if we have staffing and a number of kids, those are courses they could access here that come not only with Roosevelt graduation credits, also with some kind of college level credit as well. Questions on that one?
I don't think I have any questions. I mean, really comment. I'm super excited the NJC partnership. Just as robust as the FFA program is here, of course, and then all the investment we've made on that end, knowing that a lot of those students will end up more than likely at NJC prior to going to the CSU or another ag-based 4-year school. It's so awesome that we can help them get a head start at least at NJC with some of this stuff. So it doesn't sound like it in my voice, but I am super excited about this.
Are they in Sterling?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yep.
That's a nice to have open.
Yeah.
And I think when you think about the work the district's done, and a lot of it, Rebecca, is opening door pathways to lots of different places, because NJC offers something nobody else around offers at that level.
Right.
And so her looking for ways to find college credit to align to what we're already doing is pretty powerful for kids and families ultimately. All right, then I'll move on to number 3, which is similar, only this is more about state-approved course descriptions and aligning what we're trying to call stuff and how we describe it in our course handbook. She's asking for the board to approve some of the new pathways and courses we offer here that are just for our credit. And the first one is in our pathway, and it's work-based learning 1, and it's half a credit. The second one's work-based learning 2. That would be work kids are doing outside of the school, kind of second level. Again, half credit. And the third one is work-based learning 3, which would allow those individuals to work more closely with an individual coach to try to help push them to the next level. Might be more in the kind of internship, formal apprenticeship kind of model. So it allows kids to earn really a credit and a half through based learning experiences, which is pretty powerful for students. The agriculture is the next one, and it's ag leadership. And again, that's half a credit. A course in business that is the capstone in business administration. And that's right now 0.5 credits here. Engineering and technology, taking robotics and automated systems. That would give students a year-long course, a year-long credit. A pathway in general construction, advanced woodworking and carpentry. Again, that's a year-long course. In the pathway of digital media, audio and video production 2 would be an addition. In the pathway human services and training, education exploration is a half a year. In our network and systems security, a cybersecurity 2, we've got cybersecurity 1 now, so having cybersecurity 2 would be a year long. And then another work-based learning class would be the student organizations. And students could do a leadership course and earn a half a credit for the CTSO work that they're already in this building. But being able to take a leadership class and earn a half a credit for that is new and would be something different for us. So those are the courses that Rebecca is proposing we have that we could offer. If we, again, have staffing, once they're in the course handbook, then kids can ask for them. And if we have enough, then we would offer. So with those three, I think if no questions, it's possible we could take action on all three of those separately.
And there's flexibility, I'm assuming, in the budget to add more congruent enrollment, Michael?
Yes, I work with Dr. Al and, getting projections on, the needs that we'll have for this. So, be part of the budget.
In the end, the way the budget will work is, the students are in a class somewhere. So it isn't always necessarily more budget. It may be shifting the budget, right? It may be looking differently at how we spend it. I think what she's really trying to create is opportunities for kids to continue to go in the paths we've created that we might not have needed level 2s or level 3s yet. I will tell you the work-based learning 1, 2, and 3 is really designed around the exchange and a desire to enhance the opportunity for kids to work through our district and earn credit for that. So I think all of that is potentially maybe shifting what courses we offer, not totally increasing by all those and still doing everything.
Well, I love the addition of the leadership classes. Going back to the FBA piece and then even the FFA, whenever we have students from either of those programs come and give us presentations, it is very clear that they are getting some sort of leadership training because the way they present themselves, the way the topics they speak about, the way they refer to their classmates and their programs. There's a pride in everything they do. So to be able to actually capture some of that for credit and probably codify it and formalize a program, I think is going to be a key thing.
I think, President Wales, one of the things I would add is the work in much of this is state sanctioned, right? And so the courses are, but you're talking about the CTSOs and those competitions, which FBLA is.
Right.
Right now, if you talk to people in Northern Colorado, there's no FBLA group, even in the big schools, that are having the success that Rose is having right now.
Right.
And when you think about 37 students, 65 participating, that's a big chunk of 1,200 kids, right? That's 5% of the population here is doing FBLA. And that doesn't even include all the other things that are going on. And they're doing it at a high level, right? There won't be I can't remember what the number was, but we went through the FBLA numbers and the events that Roosevelt took first, in some cases first and second, and in many cases first, second, and third. There was nobody else that was anywhere close. So
Right.
that's powerful, and speaks to what's happening in this building.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or comments? I'm okay with us taking all three of those as a single item if somebody wants to do that, or if you want to break them into separate motions.
Is there a reason to break this up?
Not really.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to approve the proposed industry certificate opportunities, the concurrent enrollment opportunities for 24-25 school year, and the CTE courses the proposed CTE courses at Roosevelt High School for the 24-25 school.
And I'm not going to repeat the full motion. We do have a motion by Vice President Sassano and a second by Director Johnson which includes approval of the industry certification opportunities, the concurrent enrollment opportunities, and the CTE requests. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Diagana.
Yes.
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 Michael Wales.
Yes. All right. Exciting. I told those guys. What did I tell them? But then Tammy, let them off the hook. It's a historic night tonight. It really is. Like this is good work. It's always good work, but especially this evening.
Great opportunities for kids.
Yeah.
That's one of these things, pretty cool.
Yeah. Our final item under special business, our state cash flow loan program. Mr. Evers.
Tonight, I am going to ask the board to increase the maximum amount of loan we can take through the state's free loan program. If we look at the second slide, I'll just give you a brief overview of the program. So as many of you know, state of Colorado has an interest-free loan program for school districts that smooths out cash flow timing issues. And as I'm sure many of you are aware, school districts don't start receiving our local property tax revenue until March, which is 3/4 of the way through our fiscal year. Our district has participated in this program since the 1920 school year. In order to participate in this program, districts need to demonstrate a need for it through a monthly report process to the state. The program is interest and fee free for participating districts. And important to note is that participation in this program doesn't imply financial strain or financial issues with the district. It really comes about as a result of a mismatch between our cash flows, between when we actually get our local property taxes, which I mentioned earlier, starts in March, versus when we need to spend money, which is throughout the year. And then the loan must be repaid by June 25th, and this is not a long-term debt. Moving on to the third slide. The third slide just really speaks to the reason for the need to increase our loan amount, which basically boils down to the large increase in our assessed valuation that we had for 100% increase in assessed valuation. Looking at slide 4, this just kind of summarizes the current state. Our current resolution amount of $12 million, and district administration requesting an increase to $17 million. Looking at slide 5, it's kind of this provides a nice little encapsulation of where the district is on this table with how the loan program is structured. We take monthly draws from the program, and then in March we begin paying it back. But then, as you kind of you can see for the March dates kind of in the middle of the table, we're paying back a loan, but then we're also taking another loan in March, so there's kind of a seesaw in March. The loan program, our current $12 million amount, it's cumulative borrowing. So it's not the total amount we have outstanding as our loan balance. So the second to last column there shows our loan, our current projected loan balance. And then the last column shows our cumulative borrowing. So the $12 million reflects our cumulative borrowing. And so you see we will exceed that. Even though we will have paid back, after we break the $12 million level, we will have paid back over $7 million into the program. There's that seesawing with how the program is set up. Moving on to the last slide, recommended action. Administration requesting the Board of Education to increase the district's approved borrowing limit from $12 million to $17 million. This concludes the presentation, and I can answer any questions.
All right, any questions?
I'm just curious. It's like there wouldn't be any school districts that wouldn't have to do similar loans from the state.
It really kind of boils down to how much the district is dependent on local property tax for in its total program funding component. We if you look at the third slide, down at the bottom, that last bullet point, with our assessed valuation last year, we were almost 38%. 38% of our program funding was from local property tax. This year, over 75%. So that was a very large shift. Before the state reset us with the new assessed valuation and our student count, we were getting over $1.4 million each month from the state for our state share. Continuing on for the rest of the year, we're getting just over 57,000. So it's a very dramatic shift for districts that are a lot more state funded. May not need to participate in the grant just because they have a much more stable cash flow. So a lot of districts in the area, like some of the smaller districts, they have really large fund balances. And I believe probably a historical way for them to be able to get through trying to get to their local property tax, to start getting their local property tax remittances. So I believe it's less than 30 districts in the state participate in the program. I think it's like 27 or something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we need to approve this raise pay for loans we're already obligated.
So,
I'm like, why
so
the 5 million, I guess.
well, so we needed, so kind of taking a step back, we don't, there's kind of two components to our total program funding. There's the state share component and the local share. With assessed valuation increasing so much, local share component started. We went from 38% local share funding to over 75%. We don't get that local share money until next month. We start getting in March, and we'll get it in March, May, and June. Is when we'll get 95% of it. So if we need the cash flow loan in order to smooth out our cash flow, just so that we can continue operating in the months where we don't have a lot of cash from state share and from our local share. So it's a short-term loan.
And without that short-term loan, we can operate.
Without the short-term loan, This year, without participating in this program, it would be extremely difficult at this point. Just simply because, we've kind of almost kind of gotten there. At this, well, actually, that's not even true because we borrowed, about, $3.5 million already, up until this point. So we really need that cash to operations. About 75% of our annual budget is salaries and benefits, and those are evenly distributed. You get, it's about, 12 each month. So those are evenly distributed throughout the year. We don't have a lot of discretion in when we can spend money, just kind of just based off of our salary.
So just being new here and not knowing, how did we not plan for this? Like, is this just changes in?
We did plan for it. So in June, the board passed, the initial $12 million limit. At that time in June, we didn't know about what was going to happen to our assessed valuation and how that would impact our state share payments. So had our assessed valuation stayed pretty much the same, we would have been able to easily go through without any type of an increase. But like on like Reader says, before the state share reset in our the assessed valuation reset in our state share payment, we were getting about $1 million a month from the state. So from January on, that 1.4 million is turning into 57,000. So we had a huge decrease in state share, which wasn't foreseen. So that's why. That's why our bottom line end of the year isn't going to change. It's just what source getting the revenue from. Are we getting the revenue from the state in e-payments, or are we getting it from our local share, which we only get in March, mid-June?
There's no interest involved here, and we'll be paying it right back.
Yeah.
We
So
have to pay it back by June 20th.
So from
it's short-term loan.
a planning perspective, we plan on participating in this program every year because we know
That makes sense.
the payments will be staggered in that way, but it's because of the shift that our original budget was that we were going to be getting the 5 every month,
Okay.
dropped to
So it's
57,000.
something the state kind of allows maybe for these kind of stations, because you can't know, you can't foresee. Okay.
This isn't a school program just for us. It's, 27, 30 districts in the state.
Sure. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've gotten kind of, well, we always do try to talk about it when we first started every year, because a lot of people, if they're just catching it, they're thinking, oh my God, this feels,
Yeah.
they're borrowing all this money for, like, why are we borrowing money? But it's,
Explained it.
yeah,
Yes. Okay.
it's kind of a,
I appreciate that.
well, it is what it's cash flow loan.
Yeah.
And Director Musgrave, for next year, since our assessed valuation has been reset at such a high level, we're going to start our next fiscal year in July with a reduced state share payment. So we're going to be borrowing earlier next year than we started this year.
Which I think you covered in like 2 meetings ago. Or
Okay.
Was that the same? Maybe.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
I think about this stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think we did. I all played it.
But this, again, so, and this is through the treasurer's office, is that right? The loan
Yes.
program is through the state treasurer's office.
Yes.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're not, and it's not, yeah, so we're not with a bank or a
No.
financial institution. We don't have to worry about corrupt CEOs
Well, that never happened.
or tellers with deep pockets. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, we do have a recommended motion there on the slide 6. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and increase the district's approved borrowing limit from 12 million to 17 million in the state cash flow loan program.
Second.
I have a motion by myself, a second by Director Proctor to approve a borrowing limit from 12 million to 17 million dollars in the state cash loan program. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Diagana, will you please poll the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Musgrave? Yes. Michael Whale?
Yes. All right. Do we have any citizen comments on general topics? Any other items deemed necessary by the board?
I have a comment about last week's meeting. I feel like there was a lot of talk about how we want to have a better relationship and have open dialogue. And I don't think it was our intent at all, but I don't think that we maybe portrayed that in the way that we could in the future. I think anytime you have a meeting where you have specific requests or need specific answers, at least in my professional life, you provide the other party with that information so they can come to the meeting prepared. And if they're not prepared, that's on that. I think if we do our part to make sure those we're asking questions of, and I mean, really, we're demanding answers of them because we have a very important vote on this subject. If we provide them with all the information that we want from them, so we can actually get that information and have a more constructive use of everyone's time and resources, I just think that would benefit us greatly. I work in a different environment than you all do, where everything needs to be very short, to the point, let's get our answers. So I understand that I maybe have a different viewpoint on that, but I think it's courtesy and common practice really to let someone know what we're asking of them before we ask them, and let them be flat-footed or really get the answers that we need or want, which we all very much want the answers to, the questions that Michael put together for us. I just think that would benefit us in the future in our work sessions. Just my thought on last week's meeting. I think it behooves us to have a good relationship with the people we're asking questions. So I didn't want to say that. Let's be a downer. Like, I don't think there was any ill intent, like nothing like that. I think it would be very helpful in the future.
Any other items deemed necessary by the board? Hearing none, we'll adjourn at 8:15. Thank you, buddy.